Let's go to Andrew Kirton, who is the campaign manager and general secretary for the Labour Party, beaming in, I think, from the Aotearoa Centre. Andrew, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. You in
no worries, John.
You in 2014 got 25% of the vote. On August 1st, you were sitting at even less than that, with Andrew Little as leader. You are now at 36.8, with about 9% of the votes counted. It's such an extraordinary improvement, but you want more, don't you?
We certainly want more. We want every vote we can get. We know we're going to do pretty well in the specials and the overseas vote as well. Well, at least we hope we do. We're looking for a positive night. We're looking at that vote creep up a little bit from where it is at the moment. But of course, it's always too early to tell at this time of the night.
Yeah, it certainly is. And the advance voting is one thing. It will be really interesting to see what sort of advance voting numbers there were in South Auckland and in Labour stronghold seats, because those numbers tend to come in quite late in the night. How are you feeling? It must have been a campaign that, rather than going from the sublime to the ridiculous, has gone from the ridiculous to the sublime in some respect, has it? How are you buoyed? What's the mood there?
We've been buoyed for weeks now. We've had a fantastic campaign and we've enjoyed it at the same time. It's been extraordinary, exhilarating, it's been everything, and it's certainly been tiring. We've had a great day today. We've been extremely fortunate with the weather. I think Invercargill got a bit of rain today, but I think they might have found it difficult if the sun shone down there. So everywhere else in the entire country was fine. And that's good for us in Labour, because we need to get our people out, and they did get out. We had a great day. Not many issues with polling booths. We did experience some issues during the week with polling booths running out of enrolment forms and running out of ballot papers as well. Yeah. I didn't hear of very many of those today, so good on the Electoral Commission for sorting that out.
Andrew, I have Mihi Narangi Forbes here and Jane Patterson. They'd both like to ask you questions. Mihi first.
Kia ora, Andrew. I just want to say earlier in the campaign, all the Māori MPs came off the list and you got a bit of stick for that. Looking at these polls, I know there's only 10% in some of the seats, but all of your Labour Party candidates, or MPs, are ahead in those 7 seats. Even Tāmati Coffee in Waiariki. Are you surprised, or were your internal polls showing that?
Look, it was notoriously difficult to tell, to be completely honest. We were pretty happy when some of the polls came out that saw us ahead, and we took the ones that said we were behind as well. It's very difficult to tell in the Māori electorate. I know that Tāmati has run an energetic campaign. I also know that a lot of people do 2 ticks when our vote went up from 25% up to the high 30s. That drags a whole lot more people in who say, yeah, I'm going to give 2 ticks to Labour. I think that might have happened in Waiariki tonight, and if it does, if we pull that off, that'll be a fantastic achievement of Tāmati, and of course a fantastic achievement of Kelvin and Jacinda as well.
Andrew, Jane Patterson here. How are you?
I'm well, Jane. I'm very well.
I'm just interested, if you can explain, please, how the impact of those special votes within that advanced vote count might impact on the Labour result, even if it is a couple of weeks ago, in terms of those people who enrolled and voted for the first time this election.
We know anecdotally that a lot of young people voted early and advance voted and chose to enrol in those booths. We also know that Jacinda Ardern received an extraordinary amount of attention in the international media in London and Australia as well. So we're expecting quite a high overseas vote, and we're expecting all those special votes, which is if people went into the polling booths during the advance voting period and weren't enrolled, they cast special votes. They'll be counted, and the results will be announced in 2 weeks. In 2014, the left gained 1 seat from the right, so to speak, after those came in, and there's a real chance that we might grab 2 this time.
Have you mobilised those young voters in the way that you wanted to or hoped to, and do you think that that is going to have any kind of impact on this election result?
I think it does. I think a good turnout strategy, a good field campaign really can make a difference in a tight race. So we've had one of the largest mobilisation strategies out there today. We had 10,000 volunteers across the country today. We knocked on hundreds of thousands of doors and made hundreds of thousands of phone calls as well. I'll get the stats coming in a bit later. That makes a difference. But of course, the most single thing, and we saw it from Trump's campaign, the best turnout strategy is for people to turn themselves out. And they turned themselves out in droves, I think, this election, because they responded to Jacinda's positive message of hope and optimism and for building a better future for New Zealand. So my hope is that a lot of young people responded to that call, went into a polling booth, voted either in the advanced voting period or today.
Andrew, one final question. 11.7% counted. It's 7:30. I mean, this is extraordinary to have such a large number of votes counted. 46-36 to the Nats over Labor, so that is a 10-point margin. What makes you think that that margin could close?
Yeah, as we say all the time, you know, those big booths in South Auckland, all the urban centres, sometimes do tend to favour us and the Labour Party. A lot of the rural, smaller booths are counted first. I know there's a lot of advance votes that have been counted at the moment, and that's the results will be reflected in there. I'd like to see us come up a couple of points from where we are at the moment when those other booths that aren't the advance voting booths, the ones that have been counted right now, come in. So we're optimistic about that, and we're going to have to wait a little while actually to see the full impact of that.
Yeah, we sure are. Andrew Kirton, who is the campaign manager and general secretary for the Labour Party.